I'm sure you heard how bad carnivore diet can be for you. There are all kinds of myths about carnivore diet out there, and today I have the 5 most popular ones and I will dispel them. Welcome back to my channel. Let's start with myth number 1, and it is carnivore diet is just like the vegan diet on the opposite side of the spectrum. It is sort of a cult. No, it's not. No, most people that go on the carnivore diet end up doing it because everything else failed. They're on the tons of prescription medication that is only managing their conditions, and they do not get better, and they have tons of side effects and they feel horrible. And they are at wit's end, and they'll do anything to get better and to get off these meds. So if it means just eating meat, fat, salt, and water, they'll do it. Believe me, it isn't something popular or trendy. In fact, we live in the society that idolizes fruits and vegetables. Eat more fiber, eat your vegetables, oils, the heart-healthy vegetable oils. Carnivore diet does not sound appealing to anybody that isn't in the community already. Most people need some convincing, and they do lots of research before they pull the trigger. All right, I'm going carnivore. Vegan diet have all kind of belief system attached to it about saving of the planet, being green. There is a whole subgroup of vegans being concerned about animal welfare. You don't have that with a carnivore diet. People are ill. People want to eat diet that is evolutionarily most appropriate for them, that will get them closest to the optimal health. And that is as far as it goes when it comes to the belief system with carnivore diet. And whether you like it or not, there is more and more evidence emerging that yes, indeed, we have eaten lots of meat in our ancestral past. Might be an inconvenient truth, but anybody that tried eating meat only will have to attest to it. And when it comes to health outcomes, you cannot even compare a vegan diet to the carnivore diet. Just take a look at long-term vegans. I'm talking about like 20 years versus 20 years of carnivore diet. The difference is so stark, and you'll be able to point them out which one is which right away. Let me paraphrase Dr. Natasha Campbell McBride. You can meet all your nutritional needs by eating animal foods only, but it is impossible if you are on the vegan diet. Myth number 2. You will die of scurvy. There is no vitamin C in animal meats. That is simply not true. Even the biggest critics of the carnivore diet will tell you that yes, there is vitamin C in organ meats, and if you eat them regularly, a few ounces once a week, and you consume no carbohydrates, you will meet all your nutritional needs when it comes to vitamin C. But the good news don't end here. There is vitamin C in muscle meats, but for some odd reason, it just doesn't make it to the nutritional tables. Sometime at the end of the 19th century, government agencies just stopped listing vitamin C being present in muscle meats, and it is there, especially in the fresh meat. And myth number 3. You will be constipated for life. You will never go for number 2 again because you have no fiber in your diet. That is such a myth. It is so untrue, and I can speak about it from my own experience because for the most of my adult life I had chronic idiopathic constipation. No doctor could tell me why I was dealing with that problem, and I also was a believer of the fiber solution, so I was importing fibers from all over the world: India, China, Iran, South America, Europe, Canada, you name it. I tried it. You think it helped? No, I was getting constipated even more, and the only solution for it was laxatives, either natural or synthetic. And then I went carnivore, and within 10 days my idiopathic constipation got resolved and it never came back. And ever since, I've introduced some of the fruits, some of the vegetables, and some of the sauerkrauts, and that's because I'm currently pregnant, and the constipation still didn't return. So no, you will not be constipated if you are on zero carb diet with zero fiber in it, aka the carnivore diet. In fact, the opposite is true. A lot of people that go carnivore actually experience diarrhea in the transition period, and it goes anywhere from 10 days to even 6 weeks. So you'll be hard pressed to find somebody that has constipation being on the carnivore diet. In fact, a lot of people will attest that their chronic constipation went away because they went on a zero fiber diet. And actually, there are studies, statistically significant, that demonstrated just that. Removing all fiber from people's diet resolves idiopathic constipation. I will link it in the description box if you like to check it out. And myth number 4, eating of red meat will give you colorectal cancer. Back in 2015, World Health Organization published a report classifying processed meats as class 1 carcinogen along with asbestos, and fresh red meat as probable carcinogen class 2. Now, that report made all kind of headlines all around the world, and even people that enjoy eating meat started avoiding red meat in favor of fish or chicken or maybe turkey, because red meat might just give you cancer. Now, if you scratch the surface of that report, there are a lot of troubling facts about it. One, a lot of people that participated in those studies were either ethical vegans or climate change enthusiasts, and this group of people commonly believe that eating animal flesh will contribute negatively to the climate, or that you shouldn't eat animals because it is just wrong from the moral and ethical standards. It has nothing to do with health. Also, the studies were done on rats that were either bred to be highly susceptible to cancers or were injected with carcinogenic substances, yes, you heard me right, prior to being fed the all-meat diet. But that's where the belief of meat being carcinogenic came from. I made a whole video dedicated just to that 2015 report. I go in quite a detail as to how they came up with these conclusions. I will link it in the description box. Check it out. And myth number 5, all that saturated fat and cholesterol will clog up your arteries and you will end up dying of heart attack. So eat the low-fat diet, right? Wrong. We've been practicing it for at least 30-40 years, and the less of saturated fats that we eat, the more sicker we become, because with low fat, we've been encouraged to eat more carbohydrates and vegetable oils, the hard, healthy vegetable oils, and we couldn't be sicker than we are today. Metabolic syndrome and associated diseases with it, such as diabetes type 2, hypertension, are skyrocketing. We are a genuinely sick population, and cutting out the saturated fats did not help the cause at all. I don't remember which doctor I should credit with that analogy. I didn't make it up myself, but it is very useful to think of cholesterol as an ambulance that arrives at the accident scene, but the accident was caused by something else. In my opinion, it's the vegetable oils and highly refined carbohydrates. The ambulance, the cholesterol, is there to help. And I think that is a really useful and illustrative way of thinking about the function of cholesterol in our body. It does not cause inflammation. It is showing up where inflammation is to try to help the situation. And let me share with you something super interesting. Around the world, among the traditional cultures and folk medicine, saturated animal fats were revealed and highly appreciated, oftentimes used as a cure or remedy. For example, when I was a little girl, a lard would be rubbed into my chest to help with the lung infection or any kind of respiratory problems. Yeah, saturated fats were used as a remedy, not as something that you should avoid. Alright, so these are my 5 carnivore diet myths. I hope I was good at debunking them. You can just try it for yourself. You will see that all these beliefs that we practice for the last 30-40 years got us ever so sicker. And I think partly that's why carnivore diet is becoming more and more popular, and more people are willing to give it a try, because it actually works against all those myths. The proof is in the pudding. And other reason why I think carnivore diet works is because it is the closest we can get to our natural ancestral diet. And anytime you get back in touch with nature, you will have positive outcomes when it comes to your health. All right, this will do it for this week's video. If you haven't yet, subscribe. If you know of somebody that is sick and is afraid to go into the carnivore diet, share that video with them, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.